All right, so Facebook friends, Facebook community, thank you so much for dropping by. I have a very special guest today. And before we get started, if you guys could do me a huge favor, if you're here for the very first time to one of our Facebook Lives, please give us some likes, emojis, type a one in the comment so we can acknowledge you for being here. All right. And or if you're here, put in your name and maybe even the city you're from so we can once again acknowledge you for being here. So what I like to do is I know my guest is extremely busy. However, she's here today and I want to jump right into it. She's an individual who her mission, I believe, is to help entrepreneurs, small business owners, build a successful online business. And doing that by building authentic business relationships. So please help me to welcome Andrea. Andrea, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Gordon, for inviting me. This is so exciting. I mean, I have been following your group for quite a while now, and it was always very intriguing. And the reason why I joined and became a member, and thank you for accepting me, is because this group is so different than all the other ones. This actually, I have found so many valuable tips. I bonded with a lot of members over the years, and they are true relationships that survive the years, right? So it's not just a fly-by-night connection. And that was one of the reasons why I was so attracted to this group, because of the depth of the connections that are built in this group. So thank you so much for having me again.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're here. So thank you for being part of the group, because I know, you have a lot of success in business, and for you to say that, and there's so many amazing groups out there. The reality is there's so many different groups, and you have some other groups outside of Land for Success that you're part of as well. Before we even talk about, I know some of the folks that are watching, like Andrea, I really want you to show me how to make more money online, right? Like if you're watching, you're probably thinking, I want more success, I want more money. Who wouldn't, right? So do me a favor, you guys, if you're watching, put that aside for a minute. I just want to put you on the hot seat for a minute, Andrea. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. Ask away.
Share with the folks that are watching right now a little bit, who's Andrea? Like, were you always a digital marketer, or what's your background? How did you get here?
Okay, so let me backtrack. I grew up in Hungary, and I have the equivalent, because our education system back in Hungary is a little bit different than it is here. So I have the equivalent of a master's in business. And when I came to Canada as an immigrant, and I'm sure that all of you immigrants really can relate to this. First time I went to an interview to have a front desk position at a Holiday Inn, I was told, you don't have Canadian experience with a master's.
Isn't that sad?
I was floored.
Yeah.
I was floored. Imagine the shock, the rejection. I literally cried for 2 days of the rejection. So as by default, I became self-employed, right? So I did have corporate positions throughout the years since I came to Canada, but in my blood I was always unemployable, mentally unemployable, right? So in 2001 or 2002, I created my own corporation.
So when did you come to Canada? Would you mind if I ask?
1991.
91, okay.
I came to Canada in 1991, right? So yeah, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of interesting stories throughout the years. I always was creative, and yes, I do have a marketing background with my master's, obviously.
Yes.
But because I'm very creative, I decided to do interior design, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I had my corporation until I had my first child. So 9 years ago, I decided to walk away from all of that and became a stay-at-home mom. And then,
Right.
you know, if you were a stay-at-home mom, if you were an entrepreneur once, you will always be an entrepreneur,
Always. Yes.
right? So
Yes.
I got restless after the second baby, and I thought, okay, I need to do something that I can do from home just to stay connected to the business world. And
Right.
just like many other moms, I became a network marketer, right? So I found a health and wellness business.
Okay.
But we know that network marketing, the keyword is networking, right? I was at
Yes.
home, I
Yes.
wasn't able to network with anybody, right? So I had
Right.
to look at marketing and, you know, bring my memories back up. Is like, how am I going to market myself and my business if I'm stuck at home?
Right. Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, I looked at digital marketing, and
Okay.
I found a software that grew into this super simple, time saving, and money saving platform that helps any small business owner, medium business owner,
Wait a
or
minute. I like that. Time
entrepreneurs,
saving and
money
money saving.
saving
Those are two
and
good combinations.
simple.
And it's
Exactly.
simple.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Andrea, there's a software that my business partner used to use, and we built it to about 10,000 um, folks in the list. And I used to we joke about it. And I don't mean to belittle the company at all because they're huge, right?
yes.
Confusionsoft. I
Yes.
would call it Confusionsoft, right? Because I just couldn't figure out how to use it.
Yeah, so
So
there are a lot of great softwares are out there, a
yeah,
lot of them. But if you know, like me, who is
yes,
not a techie, and you need for digital marketing, you need to have some sort of a digital, like a technological knowledge. So when somebody told me ClickFunnels, as
yes.
a mom, I thought
Like,
about the
what are you
kitchen
talking about?
funnel,
Yeah,
right? The funnel that you use in the kitchen, right? And I
that's what
thought,
I thought. First time somebody told me about ClickFunnels, I'm like, okay, like when I was a kid, I always drove cars that broke down.
mm-hmm.
And I remember it would always burn oil like crazy or leak oil and having to have those little funnels and then pouring oil, right?
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about, ClickFunnels? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Yeah, no. So what through trial and error, right? Like I looked into all kinds of, like all parts of digital marketing,
Yes,
and ClickFunnels is one of the component. It's a necessary
yes,
component
it
to
is,
have
isn't
a
it?
funnel, because today having just one website is not enough, because you need to drive traffic to the website, and then you need to capture the information of those people who come so they don't just jump, right?
Yeah,
So when I looked at creating a ClickFunnel by
yes,
myself, it would have taken me about a month and a half, 2 months, right? And I
yes,
thought, I
yes,
don't have time for that. If I do
right,
that, when am I going to do my own business?
yes.
And then I thought, okay, so let's get the smart people, build me a funnel. The quotes that I was given, between $2,500 to $25,000.
Easily,
I
right?
thought, oh my God. I mean, I would be working to pay for the
Yes,
funnel. So
yes,
I thought, okay, let me just see what else is out there. And
yes.
that's how I found the software that I have been using. And
Okay,
honestly, in the past, little bit less than 2 years now, I have helped over 160, 170 small businesses, medium businesses, and solo entrepreneurs to transfer their business to online.
that's amazing.
And especially because of COVID and
Yes,
the lockdown and the amount
yes.
of
More and more
businesses,
people are going online, aren't they?
yeah, or they don't know that there is another way
Yes,
because they are brick and mortar, and I think, oh my God, I have to close shop.
right.
And plus, because of the expenses, plus because of the knowledge, and because of the time
Yes,
constraint that it takes, like you can hire an agency, and there's lots of agencies that do really, really good job for these
yes,
companies to make them transition and survive online. So companies that are very well established will
yes.
hire a big agency,
Hmm.
but there are agencies who provide services with our software to small people because those
amazing.
small people would not necessarily
Yeah.
be able to afford the big agencies'
Yes,
prices. So now
absolutely.
the big agency has the choice of catering to a big ticket company, as well as not losing the small people who otherwise would be just, bye-bye, I can't afford you, right?
Yeah,
So it
that's
is,
amazing. You know, Andrea, there are so many people out there that cannot afford a big agency,
yeah,
especially small business owners. You know, you mentioned brick and mortar. I met you through our good friend Tammy Williams.
yes,
And I love when Tammy says you have brick and mortar, and today it's click and order.
yes,
Click it. So you can go
yes,
from brick and mortar and click and order. So if you have a combination of both, wouldn't that be amazing? And during
absolutely.
times like today, if you have a brick and mortar business and you can combine that with a click and order, talk to me a little bit about that in terms of that. Let's say if there's somebody who does have a business and they're facing a bit of a tough time right now, how do you help them transition their business into digital like that?
So there is a lot of companies who are brick and mortar, but they already have an online shop.
Yes.
It's still not enough, because if people don't know you,
Okay.
nobody's going to buy from you, right? It doesn't
Yes.
matter how pretty
Yes.
your website looks, how super awesome your product is.
Yeah.
If you don't have visibility, if you don't put
Right.
yourself out there anywhere in social media, it is kind of hard to make the numbers, right?
Yes.
Or get your targets. So that's where marketing comes into
Comes in.
effect, because now a lot of people confuse marketing with advertising.
Okay.
Advertising is part of marketing, right?
Okay.
So just to have marketing and you post on your social media
Yes.
is not enough to grow.
Okay.
It's enough to build your brand. It's a
Build your
time
brand. Yes.
consuming process, right?
Yes.
So if you want sales, you need to advertise, but you
Right.
cannot advertise if you don't have your marketing laid out,
Okay.
right? So if you, let's say, put up a Facebook ad and say, hey, here's my product, buy it.
Yes.
Well, if you smart and you know how to connect your Facebook to your website, that's
Yes.
at least a win.
That's a
The best
beginning,
thing
right?
is,
That's a win.
yes,
That's a great start.
yeah, exactly. Most people don't even do that,
Right.
because they just put the Facebook ad on, because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the guidance, they don't have, they haven't done their advertising, they're just scramble, they haven't done their education or learning or
Yes.
research. Is what I was looking for. So they're just scrambling to, okay, I have to advertise to make the sale. But
Right.
they're losing out on all the people who might click on the ad and come to their
Right.
website, but
Okay.
they don't click the buy
The
button,
buy button. So what's your
right?
solution to that then? What's the solution to that?
You always, before you do anything else, you have to
Okay.
have a capture page.
A capture page. And what is
A
a what is a
capture
capture
page-
page? What's your
A
definition of a
capture page is a single one page, something that connects into your ad. And the
Okay.
capture page captures your name and email address,
Okay.
and you give something for that person for free. Make it intriguing
Okay.
for them to give you their information.
Love it.
And that page, that
Yes.
capture form, goes into a customer relation management where you capture and you keep that
Yes.
information, so you can send out newsletters, you can send out periodic
Wow.
email campaigns.
This is like a full training. This could be like a 2-day training.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is where most people get lost, because they say,
Right.
oh my God, this is way too confusing. I'm not going to do this.
Now
Unless
the software you have, does it allow you to do all this, or how do you get
all included.
all included?
It's all included. It's all
Wow.
included. It's all automated, fully integrated, and partially, I'm going to use the word that most people don't like. It's partially powered by artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So it does
Yes.
your SEO. It does your website's
SEO is
SEO without
incredible.
hiring somebody to do it for you.
Wow. Wow. So
So
what I'd like to do afterwards, if some of the folks that are watching, this is my special guest, Andrea. And again, her mission is to help entrepreneurs, small business owners be successful online, which is incredible. So the software that Andrea is talking about, we'll drop a link in here afterwards. if you want to learn more about the software that Andrew was talking about, leave a comment with the word me, right? Me, and we'll make sure that Andrea will, look at the comments afterwards and send you a link to where you can actually get more information, or even leave a message, right? Direct messages, and I'm happy to connect you to Andrea. Andrea, I'm going to go back to that capture page for a minute, because a lot of people have websites. I see people spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on a website. It frustrates me because every time I talk to them, like, oh, I'm rebranding, right? And they're always working on their brand and their website. Talk to me about this little capture page.
So let me say something even more intriguing.
Okay.
You can rebrand and you can have as many websites as you want with our software.
That's amazing.
No extra charge.
Unlimited websites.
So a capture page is a simplified website, basically.
Okay.
A landing page is also a simplified website.
Okay.
Website can be a one-page website, and website can have different tabs on the top.
Yes.
The tendency these days is to have a one-page website, and I'm not going to elaborate too much on this. The only reason is because whether you look at it on the computer or whether you look at it on your phone, you scroll up and down. So you who created the page control where you direct the people who are on your page.
Okay.
When you have tabs up on top, you basically are kind of confusing the people and you're giving them more opportunity to jump off your page.
Yes.
If you have a capture page attached to a multi-tab website, it doesn't matter where they go, you already captured their information. So you have a chance to build that relationship with them because you can follow up through email.
Got it.
Now, misconception is that email marketing doesn't work.
Okay.
Email marketing's purpose is not that people open your email every time. You know how many emails I don't open? But I get them every day.
Honestly, I read something about the average individual gets over 118 emails a day now.
Exactly. Or even more, depending on how many things you subscribe to.
Yes.
The purpose of the email marketing campaigns and the newsletters is to stay in sight and stay in mind. Because if people see your name every day with that email come in, they might not read your email, right? Yes. But there might be an email title 6-7 months down the road when they are going to click on it. Yes. And if you have built up that trust factor through these periodic emails, and because it creates familiarity, right? So the more people see your name, the more familiar they get with you, right? So when they are at the point that they actually will click your email, they are already open to receiving what you're offering. And if that email has a special offer, they will click on it, go to your website, and you have a better chance of them purchasing your product. So, and this is how you build authentic relationships with your customers, because that's the whole point. Authentic relationship, because if you don't build that authentic trust with your prospects, you're not going to have a business because you're just going to be a sales shark.
Andrew, so many people talk about authenticity to a point today where I don't even know what that word means. So you mentioned authentic relationships. Tell me a little bit more about your definition of building these authentic relationships.
The whole purpose of marketing is not necessarily to sell. Because, so let me just say this. You know, when they have those titles of corporate offices, sales and marketing, VP of sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing,
it's incorrect because marketing always comes before sales. So it should be, the title should be the VP of marketing and sales. Right? So the reason, because marketing is what builds the relationship. Marketing is what builds the brand. Marketing is what builds the awareness about what your product does. If you constantly flag your product in front of your people, like imagine if you get an email every day about a toothpaste.
Right.
What are the chances that you are going to unsubscribe? But if your emails, if your marketing, if your post is about educating people, entertaining first and foremost, because nowadays, if you're not educating, if you're not interesting, people are just going to scroll by, right? So you constantly have to find topics, interesting articles, videos in the category of your business and not about your product or not about your specific business. You can keep yourself more interesting in other people's eyes if you are providing information to them in the category that your business is in. Because I always say it's always easier to fish from a pond full of fish as opposed to fish for the salmon, for example, right? So I find that the more bait you put into the fish pond, it doesn't matter what fish you're going to catch, but you're going to catch the ones that are interested in what you are offering. And then you have to cultivate those relationships. And you're not cultivating by sending them sales emails every day or every 2 days or every month, right? You're basically harvesting, because you know when you plant a seed, you're not harvesting the next day.
Takes time. You got to
exactly nurture, the same, right? Now imagine if throughout this process you have to manage 5 different platforms of marketing, build funnels, websites, everything else. You have to do all of them.
It's a lot of work.
Take your time away from your business. So that's why people hire either big agencies or they do nothing. 90% of small businesses have no online presence, unfortunately.
That many, eh? So what was that number again? How many?
90%.
Wow, that's a huge number, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And also most, which is also about 80%, 85% of small businesses go out of business within their first year. And these are statistics. I'm not making them up. It's because they don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to pivot. They don't know how to make changes to make them sustainable for the future. And that's what we can help with. And that's what this software helps with.
Amazing. So guys, if you're watching, folks, if you're watching and you want to, you have a digital marketing presence already and you're struggling a bit with it, reach out to Andrea. If you're not online and you've been thinking about it, reach out to Andrea. I have friends that use ClickFunnels and Confusionsoft and this contact and that and I'm good with that because I truly believe what Andrea said. The money is in the list. Experts say that all the time. So if you're struggling building a list, reach out to Andrea. One of the things that Andrea said makes a lot of sense. If you have money to hire an agency, if you can do that, do it. You need to spend money to make money. You know, we have an individual who's now a member of Landed for Success. He's an author in Landed for Success. And it's a friend of mine for over 3 decades now. And he had one of the most successful direct sales business in all of Europe. And so he got into the training business, exactly like what Andrew just said, hired an agency in California for $20,000, $25,000, right? Because he didn't know how to build out capture pages, et cetera, like Andrea talked about. Well, $25,000 later, guess what kind of results he ended up with. And I'm not here to knock agencies. There are good agencies and there are
not so good agencies,
right? And so that's where you got to be careful. And so if you can learn it, and I'm going to come right back to Andrea for a minute. It's like that whole concept of you can give someone a fish to eat and feed them for a day, or you can teach them how to fish and feed them for a lifetime. And so if you want to be fed for a lifetime, learn how to feed yourself for a lifetime, reach out to Andrea, get more information on not just the software, but all the support, like all the knowledge, experience, and the support that she has, that she can help you with that. Andrea, I want to change subjects for a minute. Okay. Folks who are interested, they should definitely talk to you.
I would be more than happy to help. Yes, absolutely.
Let's have some fun here. I'm going to put you back on the hot seat again.
All right.
You know, my kids are a bit older now. Your kids, how old are your kids?
I have a 9-year-old. Actually, her birthday is today, so it's gonna be
Wow. And they're in school.
Uh, no, they're at home.
They're at home. That's what I meant. They're at
At
home,
home.
right? So I
Yeah,
don't know.
the government decided that the first week has to be online. Oh my God, it's
So how do you
so
handle
we
that
kinda,
as a mompreneur? How are you handling that right now?
you see my hair, the gray hair.
Like,
No, so you see my 9-year-old, she's
yes,
very academic. She loves, she's focused and everything. But my 6.5-year-old, who is grade 1 now,
yes,
she's trying to find every way that she can to get away from the computer and, play with
yeah,
the cat or stuff like that. So
yes,
it's, I just posted this about on Facebook. I feel like online schooling
yes,
is like taking your kids to school and staying there with them.
yeah. I
Like,
saw
so
that.
you can't run, there is the distractions.
Yes,
There's no way that you can focus on your own work, your
right.
job or anything. So actually, I'm just surprised that we haven't been interrupted. Nobody came to my office and said, "Mommy, my computer broke down," or "Mommy, I can't
Oh,
hear," or something.
don't jinx us. And if they do come on, that'd be amazing.
I
I
know.
love when I do an interview and somebody's children shows up because that's what a home-based business now, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. It's just the technology and the
Yeah.
schools are not set up properly, and it's just
Yeah. And
it's
isn't that the authenticity you just talked about as well?
the what?
The authenticity that you just talked about as
Yeah,
well, right? So if we're working from home, we're working from home. If our kids,
yeah,
if our kids are at home and they want to give mom or dad a hug while we're on an interview, do it, right?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I always like, I do Zoom presentations, I do goal setting workshops, and kids come in all the time, and I'm like, yeah, give me a hug, and then jump back into the topic right away. So I'm kind of used to it, but you never get used to the interruptions.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. It's what life is. I'm just happy that they're going back to school on Monday.
On Monday, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we got the
We
notes.
talked
Yeah,
about
we got the
you have a
note
software
Monday.
that can help individuals automate their businesses online, right? Really build a strong digital marketing presence, SEO, and generate sales online. You just mentioned about goal setting as well, and I know it's
Mhm.
the beginning of the year, right? What are your
Yes.
thoughts about people talking about new goals at the beginning of every year?
Well, everybody, that's a routine. Beginning of the year, everybody sets their main goals, and there's three. Most of them are three, right? Lose weight, make money, and quit smoking, right? So,
I've never been on a weight loss program. Can't relate to that.
oh, good for you. Good for you. So you don't know what they are going through. So usually in 3 weeks, they quit.
Yes.
And it's not because of the journey that they are on, but because of the way they started the journey, the wrong
Right.
way of starting their weight loss journey. And this is what goal setting properly is all about. If you don't know, if you haven't assessed the
Yes.
year before,
Mhm.
and you don't know where you are, you don't know how big of a gap you need to bridge before you get to your goal, right? And that's I don't want to give everything away, but that's what my goal setting workshop is about, to
Okay.
teach you what to celebrate, how to go
Wow.
about it, how to break it down into segments that you can actually attain, and how not to get discouraged because you set the wrong expectations.
Right.
And it's not the goal that you didn't reach, but the expectation of reaching that
I love that, Andrew.
level is
I
what
never
gets
heard anyone.
people discouraged,
Yeah.
right? So if you don't know, if you're not armored against those feelings, and you
Yes.
don't have the proper feeling attached to your goals, that's what's going to happen to you as well.
Yeah.
Like, you have to know what other changes you need to make in your everyday life, what to give up, what to add, right?
Yeah.
In order for you to reach those goals. Because it is really good. Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna have these goals. I'm gonna make $10 million this
Yes.
year. And
Yes.
some people could potentially reach that.
Yes.
but because they don't have the proper tools, proper mentality, proper mindset,
Yes.
they don't know how to get there. And then they get discouraged because, oh, day one, I didn't make $280,000, right?
Right. It's amazing. You and I work with entrepreneurs every day, and you have individuals who have been broke all their lives, and then they show up and they want you to use your software and help them make $1 million in 30 days. It's not going to happen, right? So Andrew, you said something that's kind
No,
of neat.
there is
Everyone talks about crushing your goals and achieving your goals. You just said about celebrate your goals. I never heard of it that way.
no, celebrate your
More
journey.
about that. What do you mean celebrate your goals?
No, not the goals. You celebrate your journey.
Or celebrate your journey.
Celebrate the journey. And that's what I teach how to do and when to do. Because if you celebrate your small wins,
Yes.
right? There is a saying, marry the journey and divorce the outcome. So if you attach yourself to being consistently on the journey and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will have the results. But if you do this a little bit, do that a little bit, because you think, oh, this doesn't work for 2 days, now I have to try another thing for 2 days, you will never get to where you want to be unless you stay on the road, on the path, right? So when where was I going with this?
I like that you said being married to the journey. Being married to the journey.
So
the outcome.
Divorce the outcome, exactly. So it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to where you're going, as long as you keep going, because you're gonna get there. It's like, when people say, or not people say, but if you would say that I want to go from LA to New York, and you don't have a map,
right?
Imagine how long it's gonna take you.
Yes.
But if you lay it out and you keep on the journey, whether it rains, whether it snows, whether it's a hurricane, if you keep on the road, you're gonna get there.
Right.
So that's the best way to explain how a proper goal setting can help you attain your goals a lot faster than if you zigzag.
Right? Well, I don't know the exact stat, but they were saying that, if you were to fly from Toronto to, what did you use as an example, somewhere in California? So if somebody was flying from here, Toronto to LA.
LA to New York. Yeah.
From LA to New York, the plane is constantly off course all the time, and they're constantly readjusting. Right? So it's that journey. So your destination never changes, but along the way, like you said earlier, entrepreneurs and businesses do need to pivot, and that's something you've been able to help hundreds of small business owners pivot and get online.
Yes. Now, I'm not saying that people don't give up, because they do. There is people who again, they're just not focused enough. They're not seeing, they're not setting proper goals for themselves. They don't realize that branding doesn't happen from one day to another. And I always bring this example up that I heard, that if you, and this is from a branding agency, that you spend like 250, 300, 500, depending on what you want. But let's say if you cook yourself a perfume in the back of your garage, right?
Yes.
And you go to a branding agency and say, I want you to brand this for me.
Okay.
The first thing they are going to ask you is, do you have enough money to tie you over for 7 months?
Okay.
Plus, this is our fee, which is like whatever, right? And do not expect any sales before 7 months.
Wow. Okay.
So this is branding. Like, have the Nike brand, it did not happen overnight. It was a lot of money invested in that brand first, right?
Yes.
It's the same with everything else. Like when something comes out new and you are a really good coach, a really good entrepreneur, you're a really good financial advisor, if only your small circle knows about you and you want to go and scale your business because you have, let's say, a Primerica business, I'm just bringing something up, right? So, which is international.
Yes.
If it's in, I don't even know if it's international or not, but you have an international business, then you need to put yourself out there on social media.
Right.
And you need to do it the right way so you can build their trust.
Yes.
With people on the other end of the world. So that's what marketing can help you with.
Love that. So 7 months, right? Eat peanut butter and jam
minimum, and
sandwiches
you
for
have to
7 months.
have the bucks to
Unless
do
you can
that.
smoke cigars with $1,000 bills before you start. Money's not the issue, right?
Yes, exactly.
Andrea, I want to ask you maybe one or two more questions, and we're going to try to wrap up here. So you mentioned, having a system,
Yes.
right? And then you mentioned about goals. Why is it then that, I'll interview entrepreneurs and some of them, I have a system, and they do, and some of them spend thousands of dollars and tens. They say they have a system and they say they have goals, and still they're not successful. Why is that?
Oh, because a system is a system. It needs to be worked.
Mm,
Goals will not be attained if you don't do nothing about it, right? So our system is as the same thing. It's a software. You have to work it. It's not psychic, right? It's not going to make it personalized.
Right.
It's not something that you can just, oh, it's automated, now I can walk away. No, it's
Right.
like a car, right? If you
Yes.
don't put the oil, the gas in it, and if you don't drive it, you're not going to go to your
You got to
destination.
maintain it and take care. Yeah.
Exactly. So you still have to work.
Right.
It is a conscious effort towards your goals with the proper tools, right? So systems are tools.
Yes.
Without systems, you can't duplicate, because it's systems that duplicate. People, like, I can duplicate myself. You can duplicate yourself. It would be just nice to clone ourselves, and then, but then we wouldn't be living in reality, right? But
which is what you've done, right? You mentioned network marketing, and J. Paul Getty once said he would rather earn 1% off the efforts of 100 people than 100% of his own efforts. So,
but network marketing is hard work.
It is, isn't it?
So a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just going to start network marketing, and then I'm just going to let other people do the work, and I'm going to collect the money. And that's not how network marketing works, because if you don't work, you get passed by. You don't get the money from the people who are working under you in that organization. So network marketing is really, really fair. Only those people get rewarded who put in the effort.
You got to net and you got to work. You got to net, you work, you got to market.
Yeah,
that.
Exactly. Network marketing. It's not not work marketing, right?
Oh, I write a book called Not Network Marketing.
Exactly.
Andrea Levine. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for being here. And folks, if you guys are watching, my special guest, Andrea, if you want to succeed in 2021 online with your business and build authentic relationships online, definitely reach out to Andrea. Andrea, I got a couple of fun questions for you before we wrap up.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Okay.
Yes, I love blue.
Blue. What's your favorite ice cream?
Heavenly Hash.
Oh, I love Heavenly Hash. If there was one thing that you could do, because I know you're constantly serving your clients, you're constantly thinking about somebody else. Okay. But if you could wave a magic wand right now and do one thing for Andrea.
For myself?
For yourself. See how hard that is? Because you're always thinking about somebody else.
Yes. Right? Yeah.
Wave a magic wand and do one thing for Andrea, for yourself right now. What would you do?
Travel.
Okay.
Travel. Absolutely. I mean, I was always traveling a lot, even in my younger years. I traveled to a lot of countries. I love history. I love architecture. I love meeting new people in different countries and learning about different cultures. And it just makes life a lot more enjoyable and interesting. So it is a big chunk of my life that's missing right now ever since this lockdown.
It is, isn't it?
So that would definitely be number one on my list.
Yeah. Let's just let's pray for the best, right?
Yes.
We'll travel soon and travel safe. So, folks, before we go, Andrea, we have an event coming up January 28th, our next online virtual speed networking event. In 30 or 60 seconds, have you been to one of our virtual speed networking events?
Yes.
Several of them. For the folks that are watching that don't know what it is, what has been your experience, and why do you think they should join us on January 28th?
Well, first of all, you meet so many professionals in different fields in these events that you otherwise not necessarily not necessarily have access to.
Mm.
The quality of the people, the background that they have is just definitely a pool of contacts that
Yes.
is unbelievable, hands-on. You have a chance to 2 minutes to do your own pitch, if I remember correctly, and if you don't squeeze it into 2 minutes, you get cut off.
Yes.
But you have a chance to hear other people say their own 2 minute, like called elevator pitch, I think.
Yeah.
It's
I think
called,
it's a
right?
30-second. We have a 30 seconds elevator pitch.
30 second. Oh my
30
goodness.
seconds.
And I have to sharpen my, because I have a 1 minute, I have a 2 minute one, I have 1 minute, and then I have to bring it down to 30 seconds. But anyway,
Yeah.
the amount of people, the amount of quality connections that you can make during these networking events is
Yeah.
unheard of. It's
Look, I
definitely
met you through our 30-second elevator. I met you through our virtual speed networking event. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've known Jay for quite a few years now. So that's also Tammy. I met a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's Samantha. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing entrepreneurs in this group that I'm just very grateful to know and get to know and build these relationships with. So
that's amazing. Well, we're so excited that you're in our Atlanta for Success community. You have so much expertise and knowledge, really, and passion with the digital marketing space and goal setting and stuff in the financial world as well. So I'm excited that you're here. We want to get to know you more, and I'm sure a member will as well. Andrew, any final thoughts that you would like to leave with the folks that are watching before we go?
Well, if I may, I would like to toot my own horn a little bit and invite everybody for my January 18 goal setting workshop, which is at 6 o'clock in the evening. The details are posted in the group, but I will post it again. So if you'd like to join, that would be great.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
January 18th.
January 18, yes. That's not this month's Monday, but the Monday after.
Yeah, let's make sure that we'll post the link in there. So today is the 6th. Let's see if we'll talk about this offline, but let's see if sometime between now and the 18th, we could actually come back and maybe spend 15, 20 minutes and have you share a few ideas about how to really successfully do goal setting. And then
here we go.
Hi, how are you doing?
Say hi. All right. Okay. We'll fix the back. Can you please go back? We'll fix it.
Yeah. Let's do a simple little goal setting session.
Okay.
So folks can get an idea of like what can they expect at your goal setting course for the 18th as well. Let's see if we can do that as well for around January 18th.
Well, it starts with, there is an ebook that they will get, they can download with an assessment part of it. So they do their homework before they get to the workshop. And if anybody is interested, please follow up with Gordon and check the link. And if Gordon is going to be gracious enough to put more details about, just to give you a little bit more taste of what's coming in that workshop, then you will find that in the Facebook groups.
That's
and
amazing.
I would love that. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome, and thank you for taking the time. I know you're extremely busy with your kids as well as with your business. So Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. And the folks who are watching, thank you for being here, and we look forward
Thank you. I'm very humbled. Thank you.